All right. Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the game. Um, we will be playing. Oh, hold on. Sorry. I did not have Twitch muted, so I was hearing myself in delay. Off to a great start. So, welcome to welcome to my channel. Welcome to Era of the Dragons. Um, I am Archangelic. Most people call me Mal, M-A-L, short for Mallory. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm going to be the game master tonight. We'll start with on the overlay here. Silver Boulette. Tell us who you are, pronouns, and tell us about your character. Well, brief description of your character.
Sure. Hi there, everybody. I am Silver_Bulette. My pronouns are he, they, and I'm going to be playing Fensiris, who is a gem dragonborn that happens to be of the roguish variety.
All right. Penny, tell us about you.
Sure. Hi, my name's Penny. I use she, her. I'm going to be playing Gift, who is a very lucky human commoner. Absolutely a commoner.
And Jaden.
Hey, I'm Jaden. I also go by Soliloquy. I'll answer to either. I use they, them pronouns, and I'll be playing a tiefling barbarian named Grief. Grief uses he, they pronouns and uses a combat wheelchair. I, in real life, use a wheelchair, a walker, a cane, depending on my mobility needs for the day, because I am also disabled.
And just in case there's any weirdness with the audio, Jaden is literally right there in the same room with me. So, cool. All right. Well, as we begin, this is the world of Sphera. Each nation, they have their own calendars, but the High Elves residing in their citadels in the Republic of Vosna have been keeping a calendar the longest. By their count, it has been 750 years of the current age, which began when Corellon Larethian purged this world of a great evil and brought an age of prosperity across the land. Nestled along the borders of Vosna are the five kingdoms of man, the realms of humans, only existent for about 2 centuries. Quite some time for a human, but a blink of an eye for an elf. The always watchful elves. The kingdoms have found great prosperity in the woods and wilds of this continent, and while a battle or two will break out between an upset lord and overzealous monarch, there has mostly been peace. We find ourselves in the capital of the smallest of the five kingdoms. This capital is named Brambles upon the River. It's in the kingdom of Ravenhold. It is year 7 of the reign of King Henrik. It's been a good reign so far, but as we find our characters, the air is thick with the moisture of recent rains and the heat of late summer. Although it's thick and humid, it's a welcome reprieve from the dry summer you had earlier this year. Today, though, the community has gathered to celebrate the Blackberry Festival, blackberries being the primary export of Brambles upon the River. It's a time when all the berries have been harvested, and it's time to live in abundance for a moment. We begin by seeing our first character, a large woman of tanned skin walks into a room. Following her, though, we see Gift. Can you describe your character, Gift?
Let's see. So Gift has dark hair, is kind of an average build, is typically wearing farm or field outfit. So in this case, she's probably wearing a leather apron, probably a skirt, sandals. She doesn't look particularly interesting for the most part. But yeah, I think that describes her pretty well.
Vitha, your sister, she'll say, "How do you like it? How do you like the new place? Worked very hard. Figured you needed a place of your own. I know I didn't really ask you about it, but you seem to have enough going on. I just thought, I have a little bit of money. Adventure's been doing pretty well. Just tell me how you like it.
After looking around sort of hesitantly, Gift says confidently, I really love it. Thank you so much.
Okay. She says, look, I know it's not much. What you're looking at is an upper room of the tavern down below. This is it's not even the second level. It's the attic of this place. It's spacious in that it's high, but it's not very much room to move around. So you have this kind of high ceiling, and she says, she starts walking around. She says, I could put up a practice dummy here. Did you think about what we talked about? Did you think about becoming an adventurer? It's good money.
Gift takes a moment and pulls out a chalkboard, which she starts furiously writing on. And she eventually holds it up to her sister. And it says,
yes, I suppose it will do. She says, she was like, I don't get the whole chalkboard thing. I'm sorry. I know like something happened with your last boss. I don't want to pry, but I'm always here to talk. I mean, except for when I'm not here and I'm fighting dragons.
I just need a little time. We'll talk about it soon.
She says, okay. She says, okay, whatever you need. I'm here. I'm also just a paper bird away, And she says, speaking of which, she pats her many satchels, like moves her shield out of the way, which she always has on her. And she hands you a stack of paper birds. She says, I figured this would be easier. I know sending is weird for you. And also I have to bother my compatriot to do sending. She'll say, here. She'll pull out a wooden sword for you. She's like, here. Do that stance I was telling you.
Gift tries to do a proper stance.
She's like, I tell you, you will become an adventurer. I'll make you into one eventually.
Gift smiles and gives her a big hug.
She hugs you and like lifts you up, and she's like, okay, she starts like carrying you a little bit out of the room. It feels like almost like something you do when you were small children. She was always like a head over you your whole life.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, I smelled some of those hand pies or something. The food here is so strange.
Gift looks excitedly down the stairs at that idea.
She points and she says, to pies. And she will start to make her way down the stairs with you. At that point, our camera moves a little bit, and we will come to an alchemy shop. It's called, you see the sign, it says the Flying Wrench on it, and it has a little wrench with wings, and the camera pans down to a flying wrench that is affixing something to some sort of massive metal contraption. There's a wheel big enough for a person, like a hamster wheel, big enough for a person to walk in. And Grief, describe your character.
All right, you see a large, muscular, purple tiefling barbarian sitting in a combat wheelchair. They have a short hawk of hair that's half black, half burgundy. They have ram-like horns, a tail, hooves, and furry legs. They have a silver septum ring and black plugs in their earlobes. They also have one silver ring and one gold ring in each of their ears up at the cartilage. They're wearing a black and red trimmed tank top, a reddish and metal embellished chest harness, and black short-cut pants with a reddish spiked belt. They also have a reddish spiked collar, black fingerless gloves, 2 reddish spiked bracelets, and a simple wedding band. They have 2 blood red tattooed dots by each eye. They're wearing black eyeliner and a line of gold lipstick down the center of their lips. They have red eyes and stubbled facial hair. You also notice they have scars on their legs, arms, and across their left eye.
The alchemist who works here, she is a kind of olive skinned half elven woman by the name of Afe Zana. Afeh is her first name. And she will say she is looking intently at the flying wrench. She says applesauce. No, not the other way. That's just going to come right out. And um she points to you. She says, are you sure you're going to be able to pull this into the carnival area, to the marketplace?
Yeah, I promise you I've got it.
Okay. It's a lot. Did I show you how it works though?
A little. Let's go over it again.
She goes up to a container. It has this metal bowl, and she casts a spell on it, and it frosts on the outside. And then she pours in some blackberries, and she puts a paddle in it, and she says, go ahead and get on it. Get on the wheel. And she has you grief get on the wheel.
In my chair?
Yeah, in your chair. It'll work.
All right, cool.
And you start wheeling in it, and it spins this paddle around and around. It's basically a person powered ice cream maker.
Nice.
She says, it's my latest invention. I hope it goes over well. It was not the cheapest thing.
Yeah, I can't imagine it was. I think it'll be great though.
And she says, oh, but before you do that, people can wait. It'll be warmer in the afternoon. People will want it more then. She says she pulls a bag of things, and she says, I was talking to this adventure woman, adventures they come through, and she wanted some provisions for her sister. There's some things in here, and there's definitely not a thing that you should definitely look at or don't look at. It should go with the other things. And she winks.
All right, I gotcha. I'll grab it, stick it in my bag.
Yep. And she says, it's above the Hanged Hog, which is the tavern in the area.
Yeah, no problem. I got it.
So you're wheeling along. The whole town is just kind of a buzz. People are setting up. It's still kind of early morning. I would say probably 8, 9. Like, it's full light out, but people are still getting set up for the main festivities. They're putting up this massive 20-foot pole in the middle, and people have come and brought lard out. You don't quite know you're kind of new here, so you don't quite know what they're planning to do with that, but that's what they're doing in the center of this whole marketplace. And
I will watch intently as I slowly wheel by.
So you slowly wheel by. The Hanged Hog is a little bit empty right now. The breakfast crowd has kind of left, and but you come to the stairs around the side of the Hanged Hog that go up to the up to an apartment up there. Did you look in the bag?
Yeah.
So as you're rolling, you see that there is a book in there. It is a book on, I totally wrote it down. It is a book on the School of Magic of Conjuration, which is a part of the components of making portals and things like that. It's not a book you're supposed to be able to get. Afe has a license from the Heliminor Society, which is a society of wizards. They tightly control magic here. Not in so much that you can't cast spells for your own personal use, but if you want to make a business with magic, you have to have their blessing, and they will provide you certain things for cooperating. This is not something that she would lose her license if it was found out that you were reading this.
So I will just say quietly to myself, I fucking knew she'd come through. I will hide it away.
But as you come to these stairs to the side, you see a two human women making their way down the stairs, and you think this is who you're supposed to be delivering to. So Gift, you see Grief, this tiefling.
Hey,
The smaller woman looks at you mildly concerned, but it looks like that she's usually concerned about everything. The sort of person who's concerned about the spiders and the trees and everything else. But then she smiles and says, "May I help you?"
yeah, I'm supposed to just deliver this stuff to y'all. Do you want it up there or down here or outside?
Gift says, "Oh, well, thank you. I can take it now."
Okay, great. So I'll just hand that over.
Yeah, it's mostly the components for like some medicine kits. It's not food, it's not anything that would be terribly useful, but you have basically a medicine kit. And your sister says, in case you break your bones.
Gift says, and that's it. Just, oh.
She says,
she suddenly goes, "Oh, thank you." She bows a little too formally.
No problem. Grief instinctively bows back.
Vatha bows just to not feel left out. Like, do they bow here? I'm not from here. I'm sorry. And she will give you a gold piece, which is way too much for it.
Thank you kindly.
She says, I smell hand pies. These hand pies. Somebody's cooking them out in the marketplace, and I must have one. She says, do you know where they are? And I smell them, but I don't know where they are.
Do I know where they are?
You might not actually.
But see them while I was out there?
Make a perception check. First roll.
14.
Yeah, you know where they are. I mean, there's a bakery here, and they have set up a little tent outside of their bakery for the
Okay, cool.
And you get the sense that they are making them there. It's kind of catacorner from where the tavern is in this main square. So it's just across the way.
Okay, so I will relay that message. You know where the tavern is? It's just across the way from the tavern. You'll see their tent out there. Fantastic hand pies. Go get some.
Gift nods again at you and then like very quickly heads towards food.
As you leave with Vatha, she'll say, "Now that looks like an adventurer. Big, strong. You need to work your arms. She says, "I'm sorry. It's just a habit. I'm not trying to force anything on you. It works for me."
Gift sort of forlornly looks at her arms and starts lifting the medical kit up and down.
She says, "Yeah, do that. Just make sure, just do that. That'll work." And she says, "So, and you'll head over to Pies." The day carries on. More and more stalls are set up. Finally, you start seeing people on a ladder, like putting the lard on this massive pole in the middle. It is some sort of greased pole competition.
Of course it is.
It's hot. It's the middle of summer. It doesn't smell the best, but there's about to be a lot more smells here, you imagine. But we the day kind of picks up. There's not a whole lot of events, but there's a lot going on in this place. The main event seems to have maybe be this grease pole whenever that starts happening. But we see Fensiris. Describe your character.
Sure. So Fensiris has green emerald-like scales throughout her body, somewhat elongated nose, and a couple of spikes in the back. She has white hair that is pushed off to one side, and as she is standing at one of the stalls, examining all the different Blackberry options that she could find, she notices that she has some purplish stains running down her shirt that is covering her leathers, and she goes, not again. Okay. And she reaches into one of her pouches and pulls out this weird looking stone and twirls it a few times before suddenly the purple stains disappear from her shirt.
The woman running the stall says, "Oh, I could use that. I have 4 children. So many stains."
Yeah, it's coming quite handy over the years. Hey, say, how much for that looking that good smelling I don't know, was it called a tart? Looks like a tart.
Yeah, we have tarts here. Everything's a copper.
Everything okay? Here you go. She flips a copper in their direction.
She'll catch it and she'll say, "Have a good festival, hun."
Thanks. It's my first.
She says, "Oh, really? Oh, just there's a bunch of kids running around. Just try and stay out of the way." And at about that point, you get pummeled by a what looks to be a teenager in a Blackberry suit, and you see like as he's just running by and like kind of slips in the street, and there's a bunch of children with switches, and they're like, "Stop the boggle!"
That's amazing.
And they run past you, and he's like, "Oh no." You see the desperation in this kid's eyes. He's covered in blackberries, Blackberry Jam as well. "I didn't want to be the boggle this year." And you see him run off into the market.
Huh.
It's good
They'll have a
fun.
wildly different concept of what a boggle looks like, huh? Okay, fair enough.
She says they're little gray things, right? Like it's all fair folk, you know.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's a fair thing. I misunderstood. Sorry. We just got the place I used to work for has a bunch of pictures of boggles and other sorts of wild creatures, but never run into one myself. But I didn't think they'd look like that. I don't know.
Oh, that's just a kid. It's some sort of rite of passage thing. He'll be fine.
Oh, okay. I get you. Hey, by the way, do you know where the blacksmith is in town? Can you point me in that direction?
Oh, yeah, and she'll point you over. It's she says it's not in the main square. It's a little bit off. You'll see all the horseshoes hanging. You can't miss it.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, thank you.
And yeah. So you want to make your way over to the blacksmith?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So the blacksmith is there's this tall woman there, dark skin, kind of big hair, and she's just hammering away on she's just knocking out these like a bunch of horseshoes, and which seems to be her main business here. Like there's like prices on the board for like nails, horseshoes, brackets, and things like that, things for carpentry. She says there's also like stirrups and stuff like that. And she says to you come up to there, and she says, how can I help?
Merry festival to you, or something like that.
Anyway,
yeah, it's festival today.
She takes off her apron. She says, "Well, today's my day off then."
Well, okay, fair enough. Where you going? Do you know where your apprentice is? I was looking for you. Okay.
She says, "Oh, he's back at the the term will come to me." She's like, he's back at the furnace. He's dealing with the bellows. It's not his day off." And she will just kind of like saunter on towards the square.
Okay. Thanks. Enjoy the festival. If the door's open, I'm going to go inside to talk to the apprentice.
The door is definitely open. It's as hot as it is outside, it is hotter in here. They're doing their best to try and keep all the doors open and keep things flowing, but it's the rain recently has just made it so thick and humid in here. There's no escaping it. And you see just a human a young human man, just working the bellows, and he says he sees you come in. He says, I'm sorry, do you actually know this person as a DM?
No, only
No.
by reputation.
Okay, so he will say to you, he says, he looks around, he says, did you see a tall woman anywhere? The furnace is up to temp now.
Oh, okay. You're gonna have to take that up with her. She just went off the festival.
God damn it.
But anyway, I'm here to talk to you if you got a minute. I've heard tell that you've seen an amazing city out in the middle of nowhere. Is that accurate?
He looks over your shoulder, and then he looks back behind. There's no one back there. And he says, all right, yeah, I did. No one, you're the first person that's come to me that believes me.
Oh yeah, I mean it's my my people have held on to a lot of different rumors about this lost civilization. So, and can you give me any information about where in the world you were?
Oh, we were way south. I don't really know how far south. Not even sure we were on this continent anymore. It was just like a glimpse for a moment. Like the light hit the top of the jungle just right. We were on the ridge, and this whole city just opened up before me. And there were people who looked like you just everywhere. And then in a moment, it was gone.
Wait, you saw people? Wait a minute. There were people there?
Yeah, that's the part that everyone doesn't believe. Everyone else thinks I was dehydrated. I was not dehydrated. I was a little dehydrated. I was pretty dehydrated.
We thought they didn't. That changes. Wow. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. And she grabs out a gold coin and tosses it his direction.
He will take the coin
For your services.
He says, look, this probably be more useful to you than it is for me. And he will hand you this holy symbol. He said, name's Elric, by the way. I didn't catch your name.
Oh, hi, I'm Fensiris. Good to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you too. Look, I was in a different ruin, and I don't know if you care about all this, but I was looking for exotic metals. That's why I spent all my money to go down there in the first. I'm trying to make my master work. It's a hard thing. It means I can get out of here, and I wanted to make it special. So I went looking. I had some time off. All I found was a mirage and this thing. And it's a holy symbol. It's embellished in platinum. It looks like a symbol of Bahamut, but not like one you've ever seen before. It looks like it's just a silver wing, but it's platinum on it.
Interesting. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you. And I hope you get what you're after. Are you gonna move after you surpass your master, as it were? Is that the plan, or are you gonna stay here?
I might even make a shop right across the street. I don't know yet. He says, I got a lot of plans, and I don't make a lot of money here. And I spend all that money, and I didn't come back with anything useful to make a sword, a piece of armor, anything. I just want to become an armorer. Like, that's all I want. I make 4,000 nails a day. I don't even know where they all go.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's definitely a question, although I imagine the buildings around here need those nails. That seems useful.
I just know about nails.
Fair enough.
You'd have to ask your carpenter about wood. I don't know anything about wood.
Well, I appreciate
he's like, I'm dehydrated now. I'm sorry. That was weird.
Yeah.
He goes to find some water. He
Go
says,
hydrate. That's fine. I'm gonna head back for the festival, but I appreciate it. Keep up the good work.
He's like, yeah, thanks. And he and you see the fire starting to dim in the furnace. He goes back to the bellows again.
Huh.
Yeah. As you're walking back to the festival, I want you to make a perception check for me.
Ooh, 15 plus 1. So 16.
16. You see a kobold. It's like it. You don't see a glint or something. You see a kobold. You like just glance down an alley and you see a whole kobold. He did not roll well on his stealth check. He sees you and you see him and he looks around and then he looks at himself and then he ducks behind a building.
And as far as for world knowledge, kobolds are generally regarded as not city folk. Is that accurate?
No, they're not city folk. You would know kobolds. It kind of depends on what their dragon does. They all kind of like congregate around a dragon.
Okay.
It's you don't know of a dragon here. You'd think you would have heard about a dragon nearby. Actually, make a history check for me.
All right.
Because you've been talking around to people.
Much worse. History is decent though. So that's a 12.
A 12? There's been some rumors of dragon attacks. You haven't seen any evidence of dragon attacks, but you've heard people talk, they're like, oh, Farmer John just got his, barn burned down, kind of thing. They made off with some cattle or something. Kind of normal, kind of chupacabra type stories, as dragons tend to attract. People like to embellish and make it a dragon, but there's been more than normal happening as you've approached this town.
All right. Well, Fensiris is going to try to trail the kobold. She pulls her hood up over her head and goes into stealth mode, as it were, trying to follow.
And okay, go ahead and duck around the corner. Make an investigation check.
Okay, would be a 15.
A 15. You make your way around a corner and you catch a glimpse of their little tail. And then it ducks around another corner. But then you see another one and another kobold in the distance. It's just you just catch that little glimpse of tail just again. And like you're in a back alley type area, like looks like rain runoff and stuff in this little back part of the town. It's not where people normally are. There's kind of garbage and things back here.
Should figure this out later. Probably come back with some help, maybe. All right. Yeah. I'm gonna Fensiris will turn back around, but like as she's leaving the alleyway, she puts a small mark in Thieves' Cant, which is essentially just an arrow pointing down that alleyway to remind herself for later.
Easy enough to do. That's excellent.
And then she heads back to the heart of the festival looking for adventuring type people.
Okay. So Grief, you are now, it's a little bit later in the day. You've helped set up this stall in the center of the festival. And people are just having a blast making their own little, they buy blueberries at one of the other vendors and they bring them over. And blackberries, a berry of colors. So people buy blackberries and bring them over, and you just are kind of like helping them onto there, and there's a braking mechanism to help them slow down when they go too fast. And that's basically your job. Afe's job is to wear a very fancy robe and do magic to make the bowl frozen that it's made in. She basically is just casting a little cantrip to do that.
Awesome.
Ray of Frost once around.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's just Ray of Frost. Yeah. It takes people a little while to get up to speed on this thing anyway. So like she has enough time to recover. I don't think there's any actually cold damage cantrips, but that doesn't matter. So go ahead, and as like kids running around. There's people actually, a very well dressed man. In fact, this human man, big hat, massive feather, luxurious mustache, comes up to you. He's holding a bag with something large and round in it. And he says, "Well, what's all this?"
Well, you climb here on this wheel and you can make your own ice cream.
Ice cream? That sounds mighty delicious. He's wearing like this gambeson, which is like a quilted armor, and you're like, it's way too hot to be wearing armor like this. But he seems fine. He says, "Can you hang on to this for me?" And he will just like put the like hand it out. He won't put it on you, but he hands you this bag. He's like, "I want to try this."
Sure, I'll take the bag from him.
You grab this bag, and you have some sensitivity to magic and things like that. There's some elemental magic in this bag. And it's like, it weighs about like 25 pounds. Like whatever's in this bag is pretty dense. And he gets on there and he starts running and doing this treadmill thing, and FA does her magic, and eventually you pull the brakes on it and it slows down, and FA will make this like nice little swirl with a little prestidigitation to make it sparkle as it is handed.
Beautiful.
Love it.
And he will take the smallest little spoonful of it and just say, "Well, that is divine." And he will take his bag from you.
Okay. Can I tell anything about it?
Would you like to?
Can I use my magic awareness to find out what school of magic it belongs to?
Yes, you can. So yeah, you use your magical awareness, and like you get pings, everywhere. But this one it's concentrated, and it's not a particular school of magic. It's far more raw than that. But it is you can feel that it has a pull to something in particular. You can't really get a good gauge of that. And also, like, it's a little out of sight of you. Like, you just get the little aura because this bag's not very thick.
Okay.
You would have to look into the bag if you want, and you could easily do that while he's running.
Yeah, let me try it.
If you want to hide it, I would say make a sleight of hand check.
I am not the rogue this game. Oh, 17 on the die. That's not bad. +1, so 18.
18? It's an egg. It's a full-on egg.
Fascinating.
You don't know what kind of egg. It's big and it's elemental.
Okay. I can't not give it back to him. Can I? I can't feel. I don't feel like I can tail him either because I got to do this station booth work in business.
Are you trying to hide like your face at seeing this or anything?
Well, I'm not like. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna like show on my face that I've seen anything.
Okay.
I'm not that kind of. Yeah.
Make a quick deception check for me.
Okay.
Just as you try and hide.
15.
Okay. Well, so yeah, no one notices. He gets off and he asks for his bag.
When I hand it back to him, I will say it's a kind of hefty. What you got there?
He says, "Well, that is just some important business I'm attending to. I decided to take a little stop and to enjoy the town,
It's a good time to enjoy the town. Where are you headed?"
He says, he looks and he says, "Who's asking?"
I'm just making conversation.
He says, my apologies. And he has his hand on his sword, which is kind of up at his waist. So it's just like, it seems to be where he naturally sets it. But you also you get the sense that he has some martial prowess. He has a rapier at his side. And he says, "Well, I best be moving along. Do you know where I can get some of those? Just so you know, I don't know if you know everything that's going on in this festival, but there is a bakery, they'll give you the hand pies uncooked, and then there's a man right over there with a giant vat of oil, and he'll just fry that thing right for you.
Yeah, that's definitely a hit of the festival.
At about this time, you hear some, as people start in the middle, start gathering in the middle, and then you see a shirtless man from the village that you've seen around. He makes a jump at this pole and he just slides down it. And you hear an announcer, he's like, just say, "Oh, that's how disappointing. Better luck next year." And and moves him along. Who's gonna try and get to the pole? And there's like a flag at the top.
Okay, got it.
The winner will be declared the Blackberry King.
Is that guy still here?
Yeah, he is.
Are you gonna take your shot at being the Blackberry King?
He's like, I am, it may be my namesake, but I am also a little bony. That is not my game. I took up fencing for a reason.
That's fair. That's fair. All right. Well, if you need any help getting around anywhere, let me know.
He says, though you look like a strapping fella, like you should be able to get yourself up that.
Yeah, I probably could.
Afe says, I would love to see that.
Oh, good Lord.
She says,
all right, let's give it a go. Let's just do it.
All right. You wheel yourself up into the center, and there is a man in a comically large hat. He clearly reserves it for the festival. And it's just this, yeah, it is a bright purple, so that he could be seen over everyone else here as he is announcing. And he says, you come up to him and says, do we have a new contender?
Yeah, let's do this.
He says, step right on up. And there's just grease everywhere. Like your chair slips a little. But you get your arms around this pole, and it's easy to get your arms around. This is going to be tough. There is just grease from top to bottom. Go ahead and give me an athletics check. If you rage, you do get advantage on it, just so you know.
Okay, so yeah, I will rage. And 20, non-nat.
A non-nat 20. Okay, but first I'm gonna have you roll on the wild surge.
8. It's a 4.
It's a 4. Oh, well, maybe I should have brought that table up, but what did we say before we started this? It's about math and reading books. So
that's all it is.
A 4. All right. Magic. This one actually won't show anything. Magic infuses one weapon of your choice that you're holding until your rage ends. The weapon's damage type changes to force, so your weapon becomes magical. It just channels the energy right out of you. So luckily, this time, you didn't wild magic surge in front of the whole town. But you get your arms around, and you hold yourself against this, and you get into this rhythm of just pulling yourself further and further and further until you get about 3/4 of the way, and it's just something you're now a good 10 feet high. You can see the tops of some of the buildings here, and you just hit the rhythm slightly wrong and you slide down the pole.
No, I'm not the Blackberry King. Somehow I'll try to cope with that.
And we all will too. We don't have a Blackberry King yet to crown, but we will. I can feel it in the air, people. Better luck next year. And he slaps you on the back. And everyone was just shouting and enjoying this. You got higher than anyone else has.
Nice.
And he says, stick around. I got to crown somebody tonight. If you got the highest, it's you. But as you were up at the top, I'm gonna have you make a perception check for me as you were coming down.
Great time to perceive things. 17, 18, 19.
A 19. You think you see children or something running through the back alleys, but you're not sure. you're like, all the children should be chasing the ball, and then you hear them come behind, like around this area, and they're still chasing this teenager relentlessly. And you're like, that it shouldn't be the children. I'm gonna have you make a history check.
7.
Yep, you're like, that can't be children. You don't know what it is.
Okay, I think I will if am I still needed at this booth? Or whenever I'm not needed at this booth, then I will probably head that way. While also trying to keep an eye on this weird dude for as long as I can.
Okay. All right, yeah. If you go to the booth and say, you tell FA, she's like, yeah, I can just mage hand it. It's fine. I appreciate the help, but I think I can handle it. And
no problem. I'll help you haul it back in too.
And like applesauce, the flying wrench is on her shoulder, and she kind of lets him away, like it's just because he's like, it's like little hummingbird wings. It's like
I'll give him a little scritch.
You think it reacts? It's a wrench. The frequency of the wings goes up just a slight pitch. Cool. Gift.
Mm-hmm.
And you are out and about. As you are, is there something about this festival that interests you, or what would you be doing?
Yeah, I have a couple of notes. For one thing, once Gift's noticed this Boggle, this teenager who's being harassed endlessly, if I can possibly bump into this teenager, I will absolutely subtly cast guidance on the teenager. The next minute, the teenager can have a little bit more luck in life.
Okay, yeah, you bump into this teenager and like your eyes meet for just a moment, and there's like a little bit of terror and just a lot of exhaustion. And like this little glow, like you just hug slightly at the weave around you, and you feel it just for a moment pull on his silver string, and it just pulls him a little to the left, right to where he was supposed to always be. And he just leaps full on behind some of the stalls, disappears. And the kids just swarm these stalls, and the people running these stalls are like, oh no.
Gift chuckles to herself and keeps walking. The next thing she'd like to do, if possible, is she will look around for games of chance, and she's specifically looking for one that's cheating. She does have both the gambling background and the gambling skill. And she's looking for one that's cheating, and she'd like to settle down and play for a while, and try to force the game to become honest by cheating herself to the point that it becomes an honest game.
Okay.
She has a loaded die that she can set the D6 value on that die. She also is perfectly willing to cheat in other ways.
Okay.
Love it.
Be here. Because they probably wouldn't allow, like, Three Dragon Auntie to just be running in the middle of the street here or anything like that.
Even like crooked carnival games.
Yeah. I'm thinking like the ring toss, on the bottle tosses. Just there's a few people just, they're having a good time, but they're not winning anything. There's there's like one big like plush Blackberry in the middle that's like grand prize, and no one's gonna get that at this ring toss. They toss in these metal rings, and they just wobble right off the top of these bottles. And there's just another teenage girl just calmly just saying, like, taking people's tickets, giving them the rings, like she's just sitting on a stool, like, yeah, you're welcome to come up to it.
Yeah, she'll walk up and she'll watch for a while. She wants to learn how the game works, and she wants to know, okay, there's a clear like crookedness going on here, especially if someone is specifically getting taken advantage of. Someone who maybe has the gambling addiction, or a kid who doesn't get it, something like that.
Yeah, there's definitely like somebody here with their young kid who just keeps wanting to get more and more rings. Really wants the stuffed animal probably is not going to leave, setting up a fuss. And she's just like, Mom, I want the horse. And the horse is one of the secondary prizes, but this mom is just trying her best to just like get these rings. I can just buy one. She's like, no, I want that one. And it seems like a hard time.
Okay, yeah. So I don't know exactly how you want this to be done. So I do, like I said, I can make a sleight of hand check for gambling.
Mhm.
I can do guidance on the mom. I can go invisible and move the ring a la Blackbeard in the old Disney movie. But I am willing to cheat and use spells and abilities up to the point that this mother can win.
Feel free to do any of those things. Those are all on the table. That is your choice.
Okay. I will do the cheapest, if you will, first, obviously.
Mhm.
So I'm going to coach. I'd like to coach the mom on how to do this properly, which I would argue is a skill check, a sleight of hand. And I'd like to cast guidance on her using my subtle spell.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you show her, you say like you're arcing it too high, like you just do you like say, do you try and coach her, or do you just try and show her, like do you speak to her?
Yeah. Well, I speak to her poorly. Gift doesn't speak well, but we'll show her, we'll like guide her hand, and like she'll probably finally like on her chalkboard. When I hold this up, folks, I mean she's writing. I think that's going to be the easiest way to do this. She writes on her chalkboard like basic instructions and then shows her without throwing the ring.
Oh, okay.
And when she like taps her on the shoulder, cast guidance.
Okay.
Would you like that sleight of hand check or not necessary?
Go ahead and give me a sleight of hand check just to hit my microphones.
Yes, 19.
19. Yeah. So you're demonstrating, and you actually get one on. You get a ring. You get several rings on. You miss one of them, but it's kind of be too expected. There's still going to be an element of chance here. But you have much better technique. Mom does, and let's see how she does. She gets an extra D4 on her check. She also gets a 19. She gets enough. She's like, it looks hopeless at the beginning. Like she like tosses one on, it flies off. She gets the next one now, and then she misses one, and then she gets the next 3 in a row with this advice, winning her daughter that horse, this little stuffed horse that is going to be well loved. Like as she squeezes it and holds it, and she this mother just says so much, and she has the child's already running away at this point, and she kind of fades out into the crowd, and she just waves to you and says thank you.
Gift smiles warmly and waves, and then quickly makes herself scarce to a corner, casts disguise self on herself to elongate her ears and soften her features so that she now looks like a half elf as a different person, and starts wandering around and looking for other people who are getting cheated by fate.
Easy enough to do. Go ahead and give me a perception check.
As I'm doing that, I have to say, disguise self at will, awesome.
Yeah, that's actually a fairly common low level feature in 5e, and I'm really shocked.
I love it. 13.
13. Okay. You hear you see a man who is wearing unseasonably warm armor and carrying a big bag around. He has a big hat with a feather. And he is just wandering around having a grand old time. And you see this little lizard creature just like on its belly, like kind of army crawling behind him, like trying to catch up to him.
The little lizard creature that's like army crawling, is it trying to be hidden? I guess is it not trying to be seen? It's
trying not to be seen. It's trying to stay super low, and like most people actually aren't seeing it. But you've set yourself in a little corner. You've managed to get a little vantage point into this world by trying to see what most people aren't paying attention to. And yeah, it's just army crawling, and then it army crawls underneath one of the like flaps on one of the stalls, pokes its little head out. It has this like shimmering blue scales, makes it easy to see in certain light, but it's just sneaking up behind this man. This man's just walking around.
Gif looks uneasily at the wooden sword she was given by her sister and says to no one in particular, I'm so excited about this. And she starts tailing the lizard.
Okay, as you tail this lizard, we're going to take a little break, refresh water, do what you need to do, and we'll be back in 5 to 10 minutes. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the stream, all the raiders. Thank you. Thank you for watching. This is our first little adventure in my homebrew world. It's a ton of fun to catch everyone up. We're in Brambles upon the river, a little town, and it's not actually that little. It's about population 1,500. They're having their Blackberry Festival today, and almost everyone has seen kobolds just hanging around. Gift has seen kobolds now following one man in particular who has a very large bag with an egg inside. So, Grief, you're trying to keep an eye on this man, right?
Yes.
Go ahead and give me an investigation check. He's not hard to find, but you do need to look for him.
Damn. 5.
You lose them. Yeah, like it seems like everyone brought out the feathered hats today. It's just, and that's how you were just looking, trying. Well, I guess you're kind of lower to the ground.
It's hot. It's festival day. I get it.
Absolutely. Yeah, you totally lose track of them. So you're just rolling around and you roll over a bump or something, and you hear a scream like, "Ah!" And something like slithers under a booth.
What the? Hello?
What languages do you speak?
Common, deep speech, goblin, and infernal.
You hear something chitter back at you. You don't understand it as a language.
Okay.
Go ahead and give me your persuasion check, though.
18.
Okay, what would you like to do?
I think I will pull out. I've got snacks, some meat pies in my bag for the day. I'm gonna pull out a meat pie and try to coax it out. Like I'll break off a piece and throw it kind of under where I saw it go.
Okay. You see a claw just like reach out slowly and grab it quickly.
I'll put another piece slightly further away.
And you see both claws come out. One takes the piece, the other like puts its hand up and chitters something at you. You hear it chitter at you.
I will hand it another piece.
And it shakes its hand. And it in kind of this like creaky comment, it says, "Offering for the Lord."
Which Lord?
It says something to you and something you don't understand. I'm gonna have you make me a dexterity saving throw. As this thing full leaps at you, just right into your center chest.
That's a 19.
A 19, you manage to just catch it, and now you have a kobold. All 3 feet in fury. Just trying to grab at the meat pies that you have.
Okay. Is there an easy way to like hold it so that it's less chaotic?
Give me we're gonna call this a grapple, so it can make me an athletics check.
That's an 8.
I'm gonna assume kobolds have it escapes and it's on your head. It's grabbed both your horns and it says, "Offering for the Lord."
I just like grab it.
Give me another grapple check.
Now I'll fight with a tiny kobold.
Fenceris and Gift, please give me perception checks. There's now a kerfuffle in the square.
What is it again?
Athletics.
18.
18.
You said perception. It's a 19.
Nice.
A 19.
That's an 8.
You're very focused on the kobold you already have eyes on. You hear something off. You're like, it's probably just more people trying to climb a greasy pole.
Question real fast. Is it in this setting, is it, oh, that's a kobold? Or is it like, what is that? Or is it somewhere in between?
It's somewhere in between.
Okay.
Kobolds are not uncommon, but they're not common in cities.
Okay.
So
just kind of checking for like level of,
Mhm.
you know.
You know, people who go out and try and dig a mine, they will probably run into kobolds. They're common enough. So, but
So Gift
what am
has
I
no
rolling?
idea what a kobold is.
No, a little lizard thing. You managed to grab the kobold. Grief.
Fantastic. Calm down.
Make an intimidation check, and you can use your strength if you want to. So, if you're proficient, it's strength plus
That'll be 14.
14. It says, meat, want meat.
If you're nice.
And then it just rattles off a whole bunch in Draconic to you.
I don't speak that language.
Out of curiosity, was that perception check for us to see this going on?
Yes, it was. You
Okay.
understand what it's saying. It says, I
All
want
right.
the meat pie because the dragon will then be happy about me, and maybe I'll get to be the big kobold. Maybe.
Yeah, so Vinciris has been looking all around the crowd for particularly what she knows is that wrinkles in humans means experience. So she's looking for the most wrinkly person to help her out. And she's found a few people who just like have come back with oh, what's that, Sonny? And she's like, no, not you. Sorry. And then she sees this going on and goes, oh, hey, you got one. Hey, I'm sorry. Did you say? Sorry, I haven't actually had to use Draconic in a while. Let me try that again. Did you say that a dragon?
Yeah, a dragon. Is it? Yeah. That. What about it?
What kind of dragon? What scales? Like me? Or not like me?
No, like me. Blue.
Oh, I see. Okay. Interesting. Give me a second. Hi. You got the tiefling holding the kobold. Hi.
Hey, I'm Grief.
Hi, Fenziers. Hi.
Good to meet you.
I
What does
don't
this
know.
little dude want?
Yeah, he wants meat for a dragon, a blue dragon.
Where is there a blue dragon?
Good question. Hang on. Hey, buddy, how you doing? Where is this blue dragon?
At about that time, as you ask that, the sky goes dark for just a moment as something passes over high above. Everyone sees this.
Found the dragon.
How common are dragons in this setting?
Not common enough. For Fensiris, incredibly common. They live up in the mountains, some are revered as gods, common stuff. Down here in this part of the continent, not common. That usually is an omen of doom.
So the blue dragon hasn't been seen in years, though. There was a cave that collapsed that we thought was the last of the blue dragons up in the mountains. That's interesting.
And the kobold said, yeah, and that one, it laid an egg. That's what I'm here for. Oh, that's what I'm here for, not the meat. And then it starts scrambling again.
Do you know where is the egg? Who's got the egg?
One of the soft skins.
Oh, what one? Okay, of course.
Do you translate any of what he's saying?
Eventually Fensiris realizes that she needs to. She's just looking at this kobold, thinking everyone, like, it's one of those things where she's just like, yeah, everyone's understanding. I'm having this conversation half in Draconic, half in Common, and then she's like, yeah. So there's an egg somewhere in the crowd here.
Yeah,
apparently.
I know who has the egg.
What you do?
I'll describe the guy from earlier.
Feathered hats. I've seen a lot of feathered hats around already. But I can keep an eye out.
It's got a hell of a mustache.
Fantastic mustache and a feathered hat. Okay, I can keep an eye out for that.
The kobold just says in common, mustache. And its little tongue slithers out.
Oh, hey, buddy, I saw some of your friends around. How many of your friends are in town right now? Out of curiosity.
3 clutches? I don't know. 5?
Eee.
What's 5? And then it uses its hand. Yeah,
This
like
may, huh?
5 clutches.
5 clutches.
Yeah.
I see. All right. Well, thank you. You've been a great help. Hey, Grief, was it? Could you did you offer this kobold meat at some point? He seemed
Meat pies.
distracted by meat.
Yeah, I was giving him meat pies to try and get him out from underneath the bench.
Yeah. Maybe offer him one of the meat pies for right now, just to distract him, and we can figure out what to do from there. And that way you
Sure.
don't have to keep holding on to him.
No problem. I'll hand him a meat pie and set him down gently.
It pulls its eyes get big. It's like little irises just like get real big, and it scurries off and says, holding it above its head, offering for the Lord in common. Like
So Gift, having seen the the adult dragon go by in the sky, has decided that what she's tailing is a baby dragon. She's wrong, but that's what she's decided.
given the evidence, it makes sense though. That fully tracks.
I'm
Baby
guessing
dragons are a lot like tadpoles.
Yeah. And I'm guessing the story of dragons goes something like dragons eat burn villages and eat people.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
She looks at the crowd. She looks at the baby dragon. She continues to follow the baby dragon, now with the thought that the adult dragon probably won't eat her young.
At that point in Vetha, like, it's just you she doesn't come towards you because she doesn't know where you are, but she like has her shield out like above her head, and she's just saying she's just yelling, gift.
Gift drops the disguise and runs over.
She says, there is a dragon. There is adventure here in this town. I thought this was the most boring town.
She writes on her chalkboard, there are baby dragon. There's a baby dragon.
Oh, must be looking for its young. Find the baby dragon. Maybe we're safe.
Gift nods and points.
Where'd you see it?
Yeah, points in the direction, like starts like, come this way.
Yeah. She starts running that way. She hasn't pulled her sword yet because it's in the middle of town, but so yeah, you run off. And basically you run into this man in the feathered hat, and he's, oh, what's all the hubbub about?
Adds to the bottom of, there's a baby dragon following you.
A baby dragon, you say? It wouldn't happen to be like about this big, full of rage.
Right size, sneaky.
Oh, the sneaky ones are the ones you got to worry about. The ones that are full of rage usually die first. He says, well, if you saw one, there's never just one. They're like roaches.
Gift looks confused.
Oh, sorry, not a baby dragon. It is a kobold. Nasty little creatures. Don't much care for them myself. Hazard of my work. And Vetha says, are you an adventurer? And he's like, absolutely not. I am a mercenary.
Grief is gonna find a way to slowly circle around this guy so that we kind of have him surrounded.
Make a DC 10 stealth check.
Flanking with Gift, you have made a mistake.
That's an 8.
He turns to look at you. He's like, oh, you're the one at the ice cream stand.
That's me.
Did you also see a kobold?
I did.
Where did you? I don't think you saw the same kobold. Now that would be unlikely. Now, I guess, and then like he's looking around, and Fenceris, do you come up to him at all?
Yeah, Fencerus is just kind of following Grief now that he's put down the kobold. And she's sticking around with them while like keeping an eye on the sky.
And he sees you looking at the sky. He's like, well, is there something in the sky?
Yeah, just a moment ago, yeah.
I'm just a little colorblind, just a little, and I might have missed something. Can you point it out to me?
Still there? Let me see.
There's nothing up there currently.
Okay. Yeah, nothing right now. Big old dragony like shadow a little bit ago.
And with that, you, for a moment, you see his like visage shift. This man, he says, "Well, I apologize. My name is William Robert Bones. You can call me Billy Bob. Billy Bob Bones.
Billy.
I have a feeling
Bones.
we're going to become friends real quick. As we should probably start running at about this point."
Okay, sounds fair. Fencerus throws up her hood and tries to disappear in the shadows.
I'll be right behind you.
Make a stealth check.
Ooh, wow. 16.
16. Okay. Excellent. So, go ahead and give me perception checks all around as you are.
10.
12.
Natural 20. 21.
You're, Gift, you're looking around and your sister is a little annoyed by the reaction of like telling saying that he was a mercenary. She's still like a little offended, like that he was offended about being asked to be an adventurer. She's not really paying attention. You look down the marketplace and you see a 7-foot tall blue dragonborn just rip open like the one of the stalls, looks into it, and he is followed by people. They don't look like they're enjoying the festivities.
Gift taps whoever's around on various shoulders and points and does this.
I will say that you can all see this too, as like you look that direction, and you hear this dragonborn say, "Bones, where are you?" And Billy Bob says, "Well, that is my cue. You are welcome to join me. I will do my best to keep you safe, but I make no guarantees."
Invisibility, and I will follow.
Yeah, I'll follow him.
And he'll draw his rapier, and and Veth like reaches for you again. She actually finds you, but you're invisible. She says, "That's a cool trick. I'm just saying. This is adventure. This is adventure. We're going to be adventurous today."
And luckily, she cannot see the sort of green coloration on Gift's face.
As you begin to run, people start panicking. And they start running, and this dragon just swoops down and over. My notes here. As you see that some of these people in that entourage behind are wearing robes of some make. There's some symbols on them. It looks like some sort of pentagram or something. You're not quite sure. You can't really see at this distance, but all of you make history check.
Hey, that's good. Wow. 21.
15.
4.
And that makes sense. So with 21, you've heard of cults, of dragon cults, but not of the dragonborn, where it's more of like an ancestor type worship situation. There are cults among the humans dedicated to dragons. They often operate in quiet places. You sometimes see their symbols in graffiti and things. You've been through multiple human towns, and you get this word in your head, the restoration. You don't know what it means, but you know it's associated with that, Fencerus. And Grief, I'm going to say these people you recognize some of them. You've been here a little bit. You work in a shop. Um, as much as you can. And to help pay your rent. So you see people come in and out. These people are some of the troublemakers in town, some of them, but you don't know much more beyond that. This Dragonborn, though, is not somebody you see. Gift, they're scary.
Hey, that's how I feel about everything.
As you all run, I'm gonna have you all follow Billy Bob into one of these alleys and just kind of hunker down. And he says, if we can stay low and out of sight, they might move on. They probably won't, but it'll work for now. It's better than running out in the open.
Out of curiosity,
Like Venceris pokes her head out of the shadows just to say this to him.
Billy, what happened? Why are they so angry at you? What's going on?
He says, well, we had some business. I had some. I mean, how do I put this delicately? I stole something from them. Yeah, that's what I did. Yeah. They're a bunch of nutters. I don't know. And I saw that there was a dragon egg in a circle, and I'm like, well, that can't end up anywhere good. I took it, and then I saw that there was a festival, and I'm a sucker for festivals.
Okay.
I figured being out in the open, maybe I could just blend into the crowd for a minute. I see now the folly in that logic.
Yeah, you kind of put a lot of people in danger. Gonna be honest.
It ain't the first time. I'm pretty good about getting people out of trouble that I made. In my line of work, I go looking for trouble quite often. So you learn some skills here and there.
All right.
It looks like we're going to be sitting in this alley for a while, every 55 seconds, Giff will cast Minor Illusion of a 5-foot box in front of the alleyway that makes it look blocked off.
That is a neat trick. Let me see what does he have any spells? He does have. What did it pick?
Of course, no one sees this because Giff's invisible. Well, I guess she pops up when she casts a spell.
Is Minor Illusion? Oh no, you would because it's not greater. That's right. Vatha is here with you and says, "Yeah, I think we need to maybe evacuate people. I think that's probably the right course of action, not hiding in an alley."
Right. Yeah, I'm kind of on board with you. I mean, Billy, probably stay here. They're after you, after all. It's better if you're not seen. But yeah, she's. I don't even know who she is, but she's right. We got to get some people to safety.
Billy, why do you have an egg?
They had. I was doing some business in that I was snooping, in that I was investigating some human trafficking. That's kind of my thing. Slavers are no good, and I don't much care for them. I follow there was some human sacrifice stuff in another town, and I thought maybe some of the neighboring people would know something about it. I found these guys in a cave. I don't remember how I found the cave. It was full of kobolds, but it also full of those guys in the robes. Now, those guys are scary dudes. That guy's like a lieutenant or something. He's not the big guy. I know that much. What I did not know at the time that I took the egg is that the dragon who laid the egg also lived in that cave. And they were talking with that dragon, and that's why they were there. Next thing I knew, I had an egg in a bag. I figured egg in a ritual circle. Again, no good was coming from that.
Okay, fair.
After hearing this story, Giff says the word wizard under her breath, and she says it in such a way that it sounds a lot like a 4-letter word.
Oh, it is probably some wizard stuff. That no doubt about that. Wizards get up to some weird stuff, and they like to keep it secret, don't they? Billy Bob has almost no spells. He knows prestidigitation and like he which he uses because he's also eating blackberry pastries that he has picked up along the way while he's explaining this to you, and he just cleans himself up with prestidigitation. And he says, yeah, so that's about the long and short of it. I didn't think they would follow me here, but from what I know, these folks are on a little bit of a rampage, a little bit of holy war stuck in there, you know, that kind of stuff.
And freaking tastic.
Well, I'm gonna go. You stay safe. Yeah. And Finceris is gonna put up her hood and is not gonna exit the alleyway through the mysterious box that keeps appearing and disappearing over there, but instead tries to clamber up the building if she can.
Okay. Yeah. I would say make acrobatics check. Yeah.
Okie dokie.
I assume that's your good stuff.
Let's find out how badly that did. Oh, that's a really nice acrobatics check. So that's a 14 with my +8.
That's not bad. The buildings aren't too tall here.
Good.
Mostly 2-story buildings. The biggest building in the area is actually the nearby keep where the king lives ish. This isn't the political center, but it is where the king is from. This is his original, land. So he does have a keep here. That's the biggest building at probably 5 stories tall. Not very high, so very easy to get up onto these thatched roof buildings.
All right, and then she's going to, like, keeping down on the building, trying to scramble. She's heading for where she sees and hears the most activity, so that she can help evacuate.
Okay. Yeah, so you are looking down into kind of the layout of everything is that there's this big central market where there's kind of houses around it and some smaller businesses. And to the south is the river itself. So all this kind of embanks the river. It looks like you have this vantage point. They have come from that river area into this market. So kind of across from where you're on the easterly side of this marketplace. And you're looking and it is, give me a perception check as you're surveying this.
3.
Okay. I mean, you won't see anybody who is trying to be out of, not look out of place, but you definitely see that there is that dragonborn and they are just knocking over stalls, shouting out, where is the egg? Where is it? Where is Bones? And no one knows what they're talking about, but they are terrified. And there are kobolds just scattered through these streets, just picking up things, running up into stalls and taking stuff. It is pandemonium in this marketplace.
All right. Finceris is going to, once she gets near where the party is happening, where the festival, the heart of it is going on, she's going to is the activity taking its way all the way out to the main part of festival? Are they aware?
Yeah, so it's all taking place in this like main festival area. People are aware. Some people haven't quite caught on yet, but most people are trying to make their way out of this marketplace through the alleys and things.
Gotcha. Okay. So Finceris is going to migrate over past to, like, she's going to be getting people's attention by tossing out just like little, like picking up little pieces of thatch roof and throwing it at them, and then signaling as soon as she's got their attention, down that way, get to safety.
Okay. Make your persuasion check. Let's just see how this works for you.
Probably not great. Yep, that's an 8.
An 8. There's not many dragonborn out this way, and they're running from a dragonborn, and they see another dragonborn. It doesn't work out great for them. That they just shout another one, and then they run in the opposite direction back
Not
towards
that-
danger.
Oh. God.
It's just confusion.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Back in the alley. Um, Billy Bob says, "Look, if one of you takes the egg, I can maybe distract them, just for a moment."
Gif
Yeah,
holds out her hand.
there you go.
All right. Faith looks at you like you're taking initiative here, and she just looks proud of you for a moment, like, and you take this egg, and it's it's a hefty egg. Do you? You can feel the magic off of it.
I also can detect magic at will.
Okay, then
I have
yes,
the warlock thing.
that's right. That's right. That's one of your invocations. Yeah, you get the same thing that Grief got. Just this raw energy. If you're detecting magic, you kind of detect that same raw energy off of Grief
Mhm.
himself. There's just something untamed about this, like not unraveled, but like spooled in this place, like it's yet to be made into.
Okay.
And Billy Bob will say, "You with the shield," and Vatha will look up and he says, you want to just, we can like pincer them and like maybe like keep them from like spreading out too far. And Vatha will draw her sword and she says, "Absolutely."
Gif looks over at you, Grief, and pulls a little like wooden, it's like a necklace with a little wooden spider on it, and smiles at you and tries to hand it to you.
Okay, I'll take it from you and put it on.
You
Okay.
now have a warlock talisman. So next time you fail, or when you fail a couple of rolls, it can be useful.
All right.
Oh yeah, that's your time. That's right.
Yeah. Luck and
Mhm.
fate,
Mm-hmm. And Billy Bob says, "Any of you are welcome to join me. Except for you. You got to keep that egg safe, like real safe, because that's what they're looking for. I think they're also looking for me, but that's a little tertiary to the egg."
Whose place is closer? Like whose home is closer to where we are right now?
To where you are right now, imagining in my head this place and I'm gonna say that the tavern is probably closer. So Gift's house is probably the closest, but you wouldn't know that because
Right.
this is a brand new place.
Okay.
Gif nods. She writes on her chalkboard, "I'll go home," writes the name of the tavern, which the sister would know as well when that's held up. And then to use my other slot for second level spell, go invisible, and I'm going home with the egg.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, it's easy enough for you to make it home. You just give me, I'm gonna say just a general dex check to not get knocked over in the pandemonium.
It's fair. That's respectable. 16.
16, yeah, that's easy enough. You can kind of see people coming, so you weave in and out of this town, and yeah, you make it to your home. It's There's not much in your home right now. Like your sister was very distracted by pies, but she was going to get you furniture, but now she's got to fight somebody. And
Right.
Is
Is there a closet?
There is a closet, yeah.
Gif is going to stay invisible until the hour's up and hide in the closet with the egg.
Okay. Grief, what would you like to do?
I will go ahead and follow Billy Bob Bones to, try to get people, try and help with this chaos.
Okay. You enter out. It's the hot day, and you now smell the faint smell of smoke. You don't think it's from a dragon at this point. It's not strong enough. You don't see any flames here, but you see that there's been lanterns knocked over from inside these places. There's small fires kind of everywhere as this dragonborn just stands in the middle, and he immediately locks eyes with Billy Bob Bones. And overhead, the dragon flies low and unleashes, the skies darken at its tail and unleashes lightning down on this town. Fenceris, you are on a rooftop. I'm going to need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
All right. Oh, hey, that's not bad. Dex is my goods too. That is a 21.
That will save. You are going to take some damage. So
Listen,
then-
just go this way. Ah!
I'm going to roll a bunch of dice. Bear with me a moment. I feel like I'm playing World of Darkness, grabbing all my d10s. There we go.
There's a lot of dice.
Yep. You're going to take half of this. I have
Mhm.
41. 40. You're going to take half of 52. So,
Uh-huh.
so-
Fenceris falls off the building unconscious.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna have everyone roll for initiative, and I think that's where we're gonna stop tonight's session as we go into a battle with one of your fellows falling off of a roof. That was the only dangerous spot in town.
Well, whoops.
So yeah, that's where we're gonna we'll just put like initiative rolls in the Discord chat, and
Okay.
we'll begin next session with a in combat as you go to face this blue dragonborn and leader of the restoration ? And a dragon flies overhead launching lightning at buildings. Do you save the people? Do you choose to fight? What will you do? We'll find out next time. Yeah, so I guess we'll go and do outros. Jaden, you want to have anything to self-promote? Who are you?
So again, I'm Jaden or Siliqui. You can find me on most platforms under Fat Sapphic Bro. I've got a bit of a following on TikTok where I talk a lot about fat phobia, disability, being trans, and I share random stuff from my life, crafts, and like self-care reminders. So you can catch me on most platforms there.
All right, Silver Boulette.
Hi, everybody. I am Silver_Bulette here on Twitch as well as YouTube. You can find us every other week or so doing Capes and Caverns, which is a superhero TTRPG based on D&D, using an overlay of that. That's a lot of fun. That's 8:30 p.m. Pacific time. Tomorrow, we're going to be doing over on Stella Luna's Twitch channel, Rise of the Serpent. This is our second session. I'm going to be playing Hope, a tiefling bard who is a lot of fun to play. And that will be at 5 p.m. Pacific. I think that's accurate. Anyway, so there's that. Other than that, I am the host of a monthly podcast called All the Webs of Stage, which is a short play podcast. We bring in friends who write 5-minute plays, and then we perform them. And that's me. Hi.
All right, Penny.
All right. Again, my name's Penny, and I'd say on most platforms I show up as Cetra777, but I'm not super active on the internet. But I am on the board of a nonprofit called Harbor Include that provides a safe, free drop-in space every Friday night for LGBTQ plus teens in a rural setting. So we provide food and hangout space, and adults who care and want to, listen and take interest in them. So if you are in the Western Washington area and that might be useful, please feel free to reach out. I'm happy to try and give any support I can.
Excellent. Well, everybody, I'm Archangelic. It was a joy to run this. I want to give a shout out to my producer, Polly, also .user, known as .user, who helped us stream today. She's awesome. I'm gonna give you a little shout out.
Thank you, Polly.
And we will be here next week at same time, 7 p.m. on every Sunday. 7:30 p.m. Thank you for the correction. And we will be doing this. If you want to throw a buck or two my way, I do have a Patreon, patreon.com/archangelic. Help me pay for things like Zoom and stuff like that. That would be awesome. But I hope to see you all again next week. I had a blast running this. This is going to be fun. I already love everything going on right now. So, all right. Yeah. Thanks everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.